Welcome back, Cheeseheads, to another episode of BAM GPG. So, man, Bryson, this
Uh,
is a tough one, right?
yeah,
Today's game, it was a tough one. The Green Bay Packers fell to the Cleveland Browns today 13-10 in dramatic fashion, right? With a game ending 55-yard field goal as the time expired. What should have been a very winnable game for the Green Bay Packers today slipped away in the final minutes of the fourth quarter. So, Bryson, let's go ahead and break it down today. What went wrong, what went right, and what it means for the Packers team moving forward, right? So, a quick recap of the game here. It was tight and tense throughout the game. It was certainly a defensive battle. Both defenses showed up to play, and we knew that heading into the game. Cleveland's defense it's a top 5 defense in the league, as is Green Bay's, right? So Green Bay did lead late in the game, 10-0, heading into the fourth quarter. And
yeah,
Jordan Love, he looked solid, right? He didn't look great, but he looked solid. He was a good game manager throughout. He was 18 for 25 on his passes for 183 yards and 1 touchdown. He did have 1 costly interception in the fourth quarter that ultimately led to a Cleveland touchdown. But the Packers offense, they didn't do enough throughout the game. They had an early field goal, had a long drive ending in a touchdown with John Fitzpatrick's, kudos to him, his first NFL touchdown that put Green Bay up 10-0. So some of the critical mistakes and turning points in this game. So the late Browns comeback, right? So Cleveland didn't score at all in the game until the final 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the fourth quarter. That's when they snuck in a field goal, and that was again followed by that interception from Jordan Love that led to another touchdown as he returned the interception back to the 5-yard line. So ultimately, the Browns got that field goal at the end of the game, 13 points, last 3:45 of the game, and that's all she wrote. So the interception, Bryson, again, it's his first of the season, first in his last 9 games. It came at the worst possible time, right? There never is a good time for an interception, but this one absolutely came at the worst possible time. On a 3rd and 3, Jordan Love misread the coverage, right? They were playing man coverage all day. Well, the defender dropped zones, right? So he dropped off his guy to fall into the next zone. Love didn't see him, threw the ball, picked off, returned back to the 5-yard line. Again, from there, the Browns scored a touchdown to tie the game up. And I want to talk about special teams here too, Bryson. So Rich Bisaccia is one of the highest paid coordinators in the game, right? Green Bay just signed him to an extension. I believe it was back in January. He is our special teams coordinator / game manager. He hasn't done a great job in Green Bay. At this point, it truly does almost feel like he's stealing from the Packers at this point, from what we're paying him to what we're getting on the field from him. It's not great, right?
yeah,
He was the one that lobbied for Anders Carlson for the Packers to draft him, and that didn't turn out great, as we know. But we have a kicker now. Brandon McManus is great. Our special teams they find ways to hurt us, right? Today you
yeah,
saw it late in the game. Green Bay was lining up for what would have been a game-winning field goal, and it was blocked, right?
yeah,
A guy came off the end completely untouched. I'm not quite sure what happened there. We'll have to break down that film a little bit here, but the guy came from the end almost completely untouched, and the rest is history there. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time with Rich in there as a special teams coordinator. It's been a long few years with him. We haven't seen very much progression out of it. You'd like to see a little bit more. So very, very disappointed in our special teams. And even when we're watching the game, you almost hold your breath on those punt returns. You hold your breath on kick returns. You hold your breath on field goals. And it shouldn't be that way for the special teams, right? Those moments matter in games, and
yeah,
you have to do better, right? Green Bay has to be better in special teams. Penalties are another one, right? Green Bay was flagged 14 times this game, 14 penalties on the Green Bay Pack, and it's hard to win, right? It's hard to win when you have 14 penalties on you throughout the game, right? And a lot of those came from Jordan Morgan, right? So Jordan Morgan, he's filling in. Zach Tom, started the game. I think he maybe lasted one play. We talked about it yesterday. It was probably too early from Zach Tom. If he wasn't 100%, Green Bay shouldn't have ran him out onto the field. Now you probably set him back another several weeks. Zach Tom's one of the best tackles in the game. So without him, it's going to be tough for Green Bay without him, right? They shuffled Jordan Morgan over there today. That didn't pan out. I like Morgan a lot still. I just don't think he's a natural fit at tackle. I think he's probably better suited at guard. But he went out there today, had 3 penalties on him today. It all hurts, right? The team, and it's not just him. It's the entire team. 14 penalties in total today. That's a real killer. The Packers have to clean that up, right? And then some of the bright spots again for this game. There wasn't a whole lot for bright spots. Love for for a large stretch of the game, as we mentioned, he managed the game pretty well. Hit his targets when he had to, took off and ran when he had to, but there wasn't a whole lot given to him today in that game. That Browns defense is very, very solid, very, very good. The Packers defense, it's been a bright spot the previous 2 weeks. So 3 weeks in a row, Green Bay's defense, they've held strong for most of the game. They had another 2 sacks again today, but they find a way to keep things tight. The offense just didn't do enough today. 10 points isn't going to get it done in the NFL. Matthew Golden, we talked about him getting a little more involved. Well, he did to an extent today, right? So he led the team in receiving yards today. I think he was held in maybe just over 40 yards receiving on the day-to-day. Again, another spot we have to clean up, right? Our run blocking. So Josh Jacobs didn't have another great day today. He had 16 carries, 30 yards. So that's just an average of 1.9 yards per carry for Josh Jacobs. Our run blocking has to improve. And I know there's a plethora of injuries throughout the offensive line, but we have to do better in that aspect too. You have to have a good run game to complement your pass game in this league. And our run blocking is just not cutting it right now. And our pass blocking didn't today either, with the 5 sacks Cleveland had on Jordan Love today. So what this means moving forward for the Packers. So mental toughness in close games, it's still a question mark for the Packers, right? It always feels like we fall short in these close games. Losing a lead after being up 10-0 with 3:45 left in the game, with chances to seal this, tells us that Green Bay needs to find a way to better finish some of these closer games, right? There's going to be some better teams coming in. Good news is this is non-division, non-conference game. Packers finished, we're still 2-1. So that's the positive note out of this. But the special teams, they deserve all the scrutiny too. Rich Bisaccia's got to really clean that up. Or I think you have to move on from him after this year if he doesn't. So Jordan Love, he needs to clean up on these reads as well. I understand, that was the play called, but sometimes it is better just to throw the ball away if there's nothing there. You have to be able to read defense a little bit better. So he deserves some scrutiny with that one as well. But I know it's his first interception in 9 games. Don't want to overreact, but that was a bad, untimely interception there. The coaching and play calling, Bryson. So the conservative calls, they may have backfired a little bit for the Packers. I would have liked them to take a little more shot or a few more shots downfield, especially to players like Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, players like that. I like to have saw that a little bit more against a defense of that caliber. I understand, Love didn't have a whole heck of a lot of time back there. It seemed like every snap their defensive front were in our backfield. So that's tough. I understand that. But it was a tough game overall, right? Our offensive line's a big question mark right now. They got to clean that up. Jordan Morgan, probably better suited at guard than he is tackle. Anthony Belton, I know he's a project, but Zach Tom, you can't rush him back out there. Let him heal up. Those oblique injuries can be tricky. We have a bye week coming up after this week. I would probably set him out this weekend. No need to rush him back. I didn't think we should rush him back for this game either. As you saw, he lasted maybe one play, right? After the first play of the game, and he was out again. So we have to clean that up. Got to clean up these penalties, these self-inflicted wounds. 14 penalties on the game is absolutely crazy. Got to do better, right? Have to do better on this one, Bryson. So just kind of final thoughts on this one. This one stings a lot, right? Especially with the expectations we had going into the game. But it's a long season, a lot more games to be played. Got to regroup. Just kind of wrap it up here, Bryson. We'll get back into the Dallas game a little bit as we get into the week here. But that's all we have for you today. Next week, Green Bay heads to Dallas again. Some serious adjustments are going to have to be made on the offensive side and as the special teams, right? We got to clean up that play, and we'll preview that in our next episode here on BAM GPG. Want to thank everyone for listening. Don't let this one get to you. Brush it off. Destroy this game tape. Make it history. Let's forget about it. Move on. Head to Dallas. And at Bryson, as always,
let's go, Pack, go.